Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hey, and a good morning to you. It's January 25th. Oh my God, it's my kid's birthday, and I forgot to say happy birthday to him. We have a special guest by popular demand. Yes, she who needs no introduction in these here parts. It'd be Sally Wiggan. No S. Sally Wiggan. Hi, Sal.
Hey, I do need an introduction. When you've been away from television or other forms of media for 4 years, it's almost 4.5 years. Well, no, it was November 2018 when I retired. You need an introduction. Yeah. I mean, there are young people, some of whom I see on TikTok, and am quite surprised at some of the things they do. Those people don't know who I am. They don't know who the hell I am. Can I say hell on this show?
You can say words you don't even know. It doesn't matter.
When it comes to a swear word,
yeah,
I know it.
Yeah. But after years, on television where the FCC was looking over your shoulder, you've developed just a very acute internal sensors that probably, keeps you from letting the F word fly. Although you're not prone to swearing a lot. I mean, you don't hold.
Yes, I am. Oh my God,
you don't hold a candle to me. I know you can let go, but I mean, it became problematic in the newsroom because there were a lot of people in there who did not swear as I became older and they were younger, and I was cautioned. I was called in the office. Yeah. What, and told your foul mouth was upsetting some of the younger people in the newsroom?
I think, Ninu, people know your nickname is Ninu, right?
That's quite all right, yeah.
All right.
But even my sister calls me Lynn on the show.
Oh, does she? Okay, then I will call you Lynn. All right. It's interesting because you've heard this story before, and I may have told it on your show before, but you have new listeners. One of the main reason that I began swearing and saying that word is when I had my first job. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. My family had moved there when I was 6, and because of my father's job. They were from New England and we were born in Michigan. But anyway, that's beside the point. So wait. Sally,
wait. Whoa. I have to interrupt you here because it's so weird. I actually spoke of you and your father moving to Birmingham, Alabama for his job yesterday on the show because...
Yeah, but he didn't...
Wait. Because another caller had called in and was talking I was talking about how trees keep getting cut down. He called in to talk about when his dad, who was in the steel industry, moved to Pittsburgh. He had first been told he was being transferred to Birmingham, Alabama. I can't remember where they were. He said, my mother said, there's no way we're going to Birmingham, Alabama. I'm not raising my family there. And so he came, they sent him to Pittsburgh, and that's how this guy ended up in Pittsburgh. And I said, wow, that's like what happened to Sally Wiggan and her family. In that it must have been the same steel company. He got transferred to Birmingham, right? You got transferred to Birmingham.
It was technically not a steel company, but it was a company that uses steel, or I guess.
I see.
It was It was Reynolds Metals. You know the Reynolds, the aluminum foil you buy?
Yeah, aluminum foil.
It was Reynolds Metals. They had a plant. It was new. All of this came after World War II, and all the building up in the South. And we were moved to Florence, Alabama, a town of 40,000, not big Birmingham. Oh, it was, yeah. My mother was almost hysterical. I mean,
talk about culture shock. I mean, geez.
Oh, God. Oh, and she was also a big supporter of civil rights.
I know. So it
was awful. It was awful. And then my dad died when I was 14. And instead of going back to New England, which she should have, she stayed there because his coworkers and their wives still were there. But then they all got transferred to Reynolds headquarters in Richmond, and she was by herself in Alabama, and it was awful. And then I moved to Pittsburgh, and, you know, she wanted to move here, and I said I didn't think it was a good idea, which was horrible because she ended up moving to Richmond. She ended up moving to Richmond where all his coworker friends were.
Right.
So it was better, you know. But anyway, that's a long story. So this woman from New England ends up in the Midwest in Michigan, which she didn't particularly like. And then she ends up, because of her husband. Can you imagine back then? Wives follow their husbands to their jobs all over the country. Do you think that would happen today? Do you think that would happen today?
I think it still happens. But I think some husbands follow their wives. Yeah. I think, I don't think it happens as much, but probably the major breadwinner gets the, you know, whatever the economics are. Who the hell knows? But I would say generally in most marriages today, I don't know most, women have more of a say, I guess. Hey, speaking of families, one of the reasons I was being pestered by a listener who, you know, who must have, as a child, been watching WTAE TV constantly, was just, his name is Mark Despoticus. Do you know him?
Yeah.
That name has to ring a bell. Yeah, sure, it does. So he's the one who said, you got to have Sally on here. You got to have Sally. I said, okay. So he sent me this whole bunch of questions. And I one of the things he says, though, which is interesting, he says that he still has letters that both of us wrote to him when he was in college studying to work in television. He was just besotted with TV news. And that we both pretty much said the same thing to him. He said, Sally talked about making sure I was learning a little about a lot. And
I said that.
He made sense. Yeah. And I mean, that's what I always told everybody, too. It's more important to have a broad range of knowledge because you'll be covering, you know, a broad range of issues. You got to know a whole lot of stuff. Anyway, he goes on to say this, and I thought this was, well, whatever. He says, the culture of WTAE and local news in general in the 80s seemed to be very much like a family, he says. Wait. I know. Stop. I had the same reaction you just voiced. He says, we knew the reporters. There were promo shots with the whole news team having fun. On-air folks were part of community events. Kennywood Day, blah, 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 blah. He asks, did you see the family nature of the business change over time? And my reaction to this is those family promos he saw were staged by a out-of-town brilliant videographer named Smith. Forgetting his name. And he'd come in and we'd have shoots that would last for. I remember him telling me that he was putting me on a horse and I had to be on this horse. I said, I'm scared of horses. I cannot go on a horse. But there, of course, I'm on a horse as if that's
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As if here's Lynn Cullen doing what Lynn Cullen does. She's on a horse, which is not true. So your reaction, we were not a family. That was a whole promotional, right? That's what you were going to say.
You know what? I'm not going to say who they were.
What would you say?
I'm not going to say who the people were, but there were two people who I wouldn't say hate, but really didn't like each other. And I remember one night I was there. I was the 11 o'clock reporter. I anchored the 6 and I was there at 11. And I remember someone was playing a TV too loudly, a little portable TV, and the other person picked it up and threw it to the floor.
And the people you're not identifying we're on air people. Okay, so here's the thing, but that's like a family, Sally.
Well, it is true because families get irritated with each other, and I will have to say that to this day. And it wasn't with on air. There are a couple of people that I need to get back in touch with, but there are some off air people that I'm still very close to.
Exactly.
In fact, I just went to a 40th birthday party. He wasn't my photographer. We tend to say that like we own them. Photographers are with such amazing artists. You know that you had 2 or 3 great ones. I mean, I would say 3 great ones. One of them I was talking to last night on the phone. Mark. Yeah. We were talking. Yeah, he's a great guy, one of my best friends, and
he was an artist, a true artist with a camera.
True artist. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And well, see, you're an artist, and an artist needs an artist. You know, you cracked the whip when it came to, and I don't mean literally, you were not, but you expected a really great creativity from the people with whom you worked because you were incredibly creative. So,
well, that's one of the reasons that, but I have to tell you, in the one time I was called in to learn that some people were upset with me, was not because I was swearing, but was because I was told that some of the photographers and others did not want to work with me or were afraid to work with me because they thought I was too demanding. Now, I don't think of myself as demanding at all.
Excuse me, Lynn. Lynn, you were demanding.
Yes.
But in a kind way. No.
Yeah, I'm not a
verbally.
Jerk.
No, not verbally. But when you would look at what you had, and this is what I'm sure you've explained to people, when you come in and look at what you had, if you didn't have what you needed, you would say something to the photographer. So the photographers knew they had to give you what you needed to tell your stories. And so the ones who wanted to work with you were the ones who were willing not to have you dictate, because you didn't dictate. But
I never did. I always worked with what they gave me.
No, exactly, but they knew what you wanted. They knew what you wanted,
and they enjoyed the effort that.
They loved it. I loved it. I don't know a single.
And I was so blown away by the criticism that I said, "Do you mean you're telling me that I need to lower my standards? That's what I'm hearing?" Okay, now, Sal. So television news, I don't watch it. Do you watch it?
No, not anymore. And you know what's interesting? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. I don't even watch. I did for a while during the election. During the election, I watched cable. I did watch cable during the election.
Yeah.
I would say the last year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't watch any news. I don't watch news. What I do is, and I watched cable. That's what I did. That it was all news, and there weren't. If there were features, they were features about something that had happened. But then all of a sudden, the only reason I got into this business is I wanted to cover sports. I was finishing my master's in Asian studies. My path was not, and I I was watching sports and I saw Phyllis George and I thought, God, wouldn't it be great to cover sports? And I was finishing up a master's and I thought, and then somebody said, an actually international athlete that was a friend of mine, why don't you do it? You know, get a job covering your sports. And so that's
because
how that all started.
Women didn't get those jobs then. That wasn't
they didn't. So I had to go into news first, and I kind of got stuck there. And the intent was to get, but anyway, that's beside the point. So what happened? I was about a year and a half ago. I just quit watching news. I read it on my iPhone. Mm-hmm. I read the news. I'm up to date. I read everything on my iPhone. And you know what I watch every morning? ESPN. What? I watch ESPN.
Of course. Okay. Well, sure.
You know what I watch all day long, and that's on ESPN. It's on all day. And I watched Get Up. I actually interviewed Mike Greenberg several times back when they first started out, when they were a team, he and Golick. And I interviewed them at the Super Bowl that was in Dallas, and I just started watching, and that's what I just turned off right now before I went on with you. I was watching, you know, and
okay.
Part of it is I just love football, but I loved pro football. I mean, I love pro football. And part of it, what I love, is I don't want to see people get hurt, but I love the hitting. I love it. I just love it. Jesus, I used to beat the hell out of my sister.
Screwball. My God. I know you love it. I remember you. No. I remember you dragging me to a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You love, I know, violence.
No, but I love big, strong men.
Violence is entertainment. Yeah, with big, strong men.
Yeah, I do. I like singers too.
Hey, Sal, we have a question. Yeah. You'll love this.
Okay.
Good morning, Lynn and Sally. Do either of you remember the receptionist named Elaine Bly at WTA? Her husband I know too. I loved her. Her husband worked for my dad's real estate company. I remember him too. He was a nice
Elaine
guy.
had this great voice, and she would laugh, and she had a laugh that just filled up the room. I loved Elaine. She was wonderful.
And this is from Milton, and he says, I remember her being one of the nicest, most supportive people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Yeah, that sounds like Elaine. What a sweetie.
Yeah.
I hope she's still around, isn't she? Has she come to...
You know what?
I haven't seen Elaine in a while.
I know I'm going to... I had lunch. I should have invited you. I had lunch with some people, Karen Allen, Pat Chandler, who was in art.
Yeah, art.
Helen Wilkins. Do you remember Helen?
Of course.
And
I saw
Helen Wilkins, and we all it was just a week ago. But
you should have invited me. I would have loved to have seen.
We'll invite you to the next one.
Okay. See, now those guys. See, when you talk about family and friendships, those are all names you don't know because those are people who were working not on air. Those are other people that make the news work, but those are the people that we tended to be close to, not to the other on-air egomaniacs, right?
Yeah. I mean, although I would have to say, although I don't see him often, I don't see him enough, and I miss him. I was good friends with Mike Clark. I am good friends with Mike Clark, and
with Mike Clark. Okay.
Yeah, I love Mike. I love Mike. Yeah.
Okay, people. I mean, I can think of on-air people I really love. Okay,
I have to tell you a story. It was when we were doing the 11, and I was dating somebody, and I thought that he was kind of, going out with some other people, unbeknownst to me, and Mike let me borrow his car and his baseball hat. for me to go.
Oh, for
right
God,
by
you
the
stalked?
car.
You stalked to the guy?
No, I guess you could say I did.
In Mark Clark's car.
Well, I just wanted to see. I guess you would call that. I can't believe I'm admitting this. You want to talk about desperate? Oh my God! Oh. God, I just said that to hundreds and hundreds of maybe
that's okay, and they're laughing. No, it's wonderful. Mike Clark,
I mean,
who I didn't work with him.
Past, haven't you? Haven't you done stuff like that?
No. I've done plenty of stuff, but God knows. But that's something I don't think I ever did. Oh my God. So,
now, but I have dated so many. I mean, I've had a number of long-term relationships, so people aren't going to know which one it was. So
that's right. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah,
I could guess though, but
I bet you can. Don't do it.
But
loud,
when
please.
you talk about, I'm not. When I'm thinking of people I really liked, that people would know, on-air people that I really liked, that I worked with, and I get into trouble because I'll forget some, but I really was, I adored Paul Long. We sat together. Our desks were together, and I adored him, and I think it was mutual. I just adored him. And another person who everyone adored was Yvonne Zanos. Who was the consumer reporter and died so young. God.
Yeah. She was
woman.
60. She just turned 60. And I was with her. I was one of the people with her the night she died. It breaks it. We were really close at the end. Really close. Don't get me crying. Stop.
Well, I remember a whole bunch of us sitting around her bed.
You were there.
She was laughing.
You were there.
You
were there. That's right.
She was like entertaining us. I thought I would. Yeah.
It was awful. I still go and once in a while. I haven't done it in a while. A couple of years ago, but for a while, I walked. The first time, right after she died, I walked with her daughters and some other people for ovarian cancer. What I mean, disease is horrible no matter what, but ovarian cancer is particularly just vile,
just brutal,
and
brutal.
But no, she was. Oh God, what we used to talk about it.
She was just wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another woman in journalism in Pittsburgh that died way too young from ovarian cancer, and that was the columnist Sally Kelson.
Oh my God, Sally! Oh God, Sally! I knew Sally's daughter. Yeah, she went to school in Ohio.
Zoe.
You actually knew Sally first. I got to know Sally through you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I have to tell you someone I'm very fond of, who was like a father to me. Well, like a big brother more. And we used to have shouting arguments on my drive home after he retired, because we would yell about, he would always call me and we would yell about the coaches of the Steelers. And he would yell at me. I would yell at him and saying he was wrong.
Who is it?
And
Saverin.
No, Joe. I was really close to Joe.
Joe DiNardo?
I was really close to Joe. Yeah.
Wow.
Joe got me through a lot. Joe got me through a lot. I went back in his office when things happened, and he was there for me always. And when he had lung cancer, I was the only one who was allowed to go and see him.
Wow.
His son.
I didn't know that. You and Joe were tight. Well,
he retired. We were really tight. Really tight.
One of the funniest stories about you, speaking of Joe, it reminds me of it. And I can't quite remember who said it or how it happened. but it was in what's called, the happy talk that happens between the people, the anchors and the weather guy sitting at the desks, right? And the word frigid applies. What was that, Sally? What was that story?
Oh, I can tell you. I actually have. There's a litany. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly. That was with. Oh gosh. He was. Oh gosh. He was.
Doesn't matter.
Second in command weather guy, and he was a big guy. Don. No. Oh darn.
It doesn't matter. Was he that?
It doesn't matter.
Sort of
I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, I turned to him, and it's funny that it's snowing today because it involves.
Wait a minute.
snow.
Why do you sound muddy all of a sudden? Are you away from your phone?
Because I have my hand over. I put in my phone, the little speaker.
Yeah.
I had my hand over it. I put my hand.
Well, guess what? I couldn't hear you very well. Okay, so don't. do this.
All right. So the guy was. Like a second in command, did weekends and,
Was this Bob Terry?
No, that's not who it was. It was,
okay.
He was Italian. He had an Italian name. He had black hair and he was big.
Doesn't matter. I can't think of it either. I don't know.
And I'll
he was doing the weather.
Yeah, okay. He was doing the weather and he said, it's going to snow and ba-ba. And he said, you're going to have 2 inches here and then we'll have 2 inches, a couple of hours later. And I pounded my hand on the desk and I said, I want my snow. I want mine. I didn't say the word snow. I want mine 8 inches at a time. And he turned and looked at me and you could say, his eyes were about to pop out of his head and he started laughing and then I laughed and then we got in trouble.
That's not even the one I'm talking about. Gee,
well, there's one.
I don't remember that.
There's one with Don Cannon, and we always used
try
to
that
have
one.
Fun. We have funny things at the end of the. We had funny things. They would always do a funny kicker, and the kicker was about a cockroach that had been discovered in some city, and it was 8 inches long. And I held up my hand. I held up my hand in what would be 8 inches. And I turned to Don and I didn't realize what I was saying. I said, look, 8 inches, that's a big cockroach. And he literally fell on the desk.
Yeah, on the desk.
And then the show was over.
The one I'm thinking of. Sally.
Really?
What is the one? Here's what I'm remembering you saying, but it doesn't make sense that you would have said it. And something about how it's really going to be cold. It's really going to be frigid or something. And somehow you said, and speaking of frigid, somebody said, and speaking of frigid, here's Sally Wiggan. What happened? What was that?
Someone did say speaking. I said, speaking of frigid. No, someone did say speaking. I can't remember who it was. They said, speaking of frigid, here's Sally Wiggan. Yeah, that's exactly what was said.
Oh,
that's
my
exactly
God. That's the one. Oh,
and I looked at them and I said, really?
Me who likes 8 inches all at the same time? Okay, yeah. Sally, the aforementioned Mark has written in and said the name you're looking for is Don Schwenecker.
No, it was not Don Schwenecker. No,
it
wasn't Don Schwenecker.
And Mark says he's on the line. So I didn't know. We have a call. Mark?
No, it's not Don. Don was later. This was before Don Schwenecker. I adored Don Schwenecker. I spent a lot of time with him at Joe's funeral.
Okay.
Oh, no. He's a great guy. I think he's still down in North Carolina working in Raleigh or something. Really great guy. Great guy. No, this was not Don. It was somebody... wasn't Frank Carriello. No, it was Frank Carriello. That's who it was.
There you go. You got it. Frank Carriello.
I got it. It was Frank Carriello. Yeah. It was Frank.
That's it. She got the name. Is Mark there? Yeah. Mark, hello? Hello? Not?
Good morning.
Hello? Hi.
Hey, I'm here. Good morning.
Hey. Hi, Mark. I'm glad.
Thanks for indulging me after all my bugging you to get Sally on.
listen, and I do hope that we haven't, upset you by telling you that we didn't like, the on-air impression of us all loving each other was just bull.
No, I believe that. I guess my question was more that as you talked about some of the off-air folks that you still consider family, but I know that some of you've talked about some of the on-air people that you still talk with. Lynn, you had Beth Dolinar on, a lot during your radio days.
Right.
So, and the family piece I was referring to was also kind of what came to us as the viewer, that television stations I felt in that time were more involved in the community and were part of the community. And so maybe family wasn't the right word, but the way that those on-air folks were, you were part of the community, and we felt that we kind of knew all of you because we saw you out at places, and that doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't? You mean, that was always...
No, but Mark, we weren't. The only time we were out anywhere together, and I'm here, and this is way back then, not now. The only time we were out together was when they put us out to shoot a promo. A. B.
Or Kennywood.
When we had to do Kennywood. And I say had to do, because I'm being honest, we had to do it. And there are some people who really groused about it, who did not want to do it. And this is way back. This isn't recently. But then, I kind of liked it. And there were people who did like it. There were people who didn't like it. Joe loved it. DiNardo. He genuinely loved being with the people. And what I loved about Kennywood was I would get so excited because I would sit there and sign autographs, and they would go and get me 2, sometimes 3 corn dogs.
I knew it.
And it was the only time I ate corn dogs, because you couldn't find them. And so I actually looked forward to Kennywood so I could have corn dogs.
When I was a kid.
That was the only time and then we would do the parade. And you know what? We enjoyed the parade. We enjoyed getting in the car.
For yourself. Felt like you're together.
Well, near the end of it, I did not enjoy the parade because I was on my last legs, literally. And so the parade was not as much. It just didn't mean what it did, because
it's
Joe wasn't there.
Being gawked at. I don't know. It was.
Well, no,
what I liked about television is that Mark, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I was a kid and went through that autograph line, I brought Sally a corn dog once because I knew that she liked them.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I would talk about it on the air. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
But it was it's you have to. I'm trying to now. I'm going to be an apologist. You have to think of the kind of personalities that go on TV and want a job in TV. Part of it is journalism. Part of it is covering. Part of it is being part of the community and informing the community. I give you that really.
You're leaving out the biggest part. You're leaving out the biggest part.
Being recognized.
The need to be on stage, to be looked at and listened to. It has to do with some kind of performance gene. Do
you know what?
Ego.
That was that Nina. Excuse me, Lynn. That was not why I got into it. I wanted to be around jocks. I didn't care if I was seen.
Oh, you wanted to have access.
I wanted to be around jocks because I wanted to be a jock, and I wasn't good enough. I wanted to be. Believe it or not, I wanted to be an Olympic equestrian, and I wasn't even riding, but I wanted to be my dream was to be in the Olympics. I didn't care what sport it was. This is way back in 1964. And so I thought a way to be around athletes was to go onto television. That was the only reason I did it. I didn't need to be on TV. I just wanted to be around other people, interviewing them. That's why. So I don't understand what you're talking about, Lynn, because that's not why I went in.
All right. Okay. Well, then I fess up. I don't know why neither of us had the dream of being in television. That was not something I went toward either.
No, it's actually right. You were just, you wanted to write with pictures. I wanted to write with pictures.
I just wanted to write. I wanted to be, so who knows? You end up.
No, but you love
neither Sally nor I would think we would end up spending 40 plus years of our lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That wasn't, that's a surprise, isn't it?
No, I never intended to stay here. And when people ask me, I'm very honest. Oh, by the way, you wanted to tell story. I wanted to tell stories with pictures, what have you. But you do become, I'm speaking for myself, you do become addicted to being recognized and being on television. You do. Anyone who denies it and says they aren't is not being completely honest.
I remember complaining early on when I was here, in general, to people in the newsroom about, God, there's people like they were, talking to me about this, and they just come up and interrupt you while you're blah, 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 blah. And it was Adam Lynch who said, listen, enjoy it, because it's the time when they stop saying your name or knowing who you are that you'll realize how much you like it or miss it at that point. And I think he was right. I don't know. Adam
no, I think and that's another person I miss dearly. He was like a father to me. And I just had lunch. I just had lunch with his beautiful, wonderful daughter about a month ago, about 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah. And we talked about
oldest cub reporter in the business. I got such a kick out of that guy. He never lost his just incredible enthusiasm for the job. He was like
everything.
He was like a I don't know. I think of him like a racehorse, waiting for the race to start. He just couldn't. He loved it. Just loved it.
And when they put him back on as an anchor in the mornings, and he became so popular again, he loved it. As hard as it was for him to get up that early, he loved it. And when he retired, he thanked the general manager almost in tears for giving him back his life as an anchor. It was really touching. I was there at that retirement party. I mean, it was a morning retirement party. And then there's another picture of us all at I don't know what it's called now. It used to be called Dunning's, that's
Dunning McNair's. Yeah.
McNair's. We had the retirement party for Adam. Yeah. I'm so glad you brought him up. I mean, his beautiful daughter, Laura. I just had lunch with her a couple of weeks ago. But God, is it Laura? Oh my God, it starts with an L. God, I use the weirdest names. Why did that happen?
Well,
is it because I have too many names in my head?
Yeah. I've never been good at names. I don't remember anybody's name. What comes to mind if I ask for the most cringeworthy moment that you can recall that happened to you on TV? Where you still, if you think about it, you like, oh my God.
Ed Koppel.
Ed Koppel. That's interesting. Yeah. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Ted Koppel.
Yeah, he was granting. He doesn't like to be interviewed, and I had read that a couple of places, and we, because we were moving, we used to delay Nightline, and he hated that because we were a large market. Pittsburgh was a large market back then. It's now 26, but we were about 14, 15. And when I first came here, we were like
12.
10.
11 or 12.
Well, no, we were 10. When I came here in 1980, we were 11. We fell from 10 to 11 when I got here. But anyway,
yeah.
So you know, and then steel industry collapsed, and the what is it? They call it the diaspora. Yeah. The diaspora happened. People left. But anyway, that's beside the point. So anyway, so they sent me to. We were going to put Ted Koppel on directly after the news because ABC had pounded this market because it was large to do that, and not. I think we showed Barney Miller. Reruns of Barney Miller at 11:30, and then they did Ted Koppel at midnight, and we were changing. We were going to show him at 11:30, so we got an interview, and I had read that he didn't like being interviewed, and so I started trying to ask him questions to get him to say something funny because he's supposed to have a wicked sense of humor. And he said things that were inappropriate that he knew I could not use. He knew I couldn't use them. I think that's why he did it. It wasn't like super inappropriate, but he told a story and it was too long, and because he knew that I was trying to get him to say something funny. And it was so stupid on my part that I was doing it. I was, you know, and so then I changed my tactic. And I started asking him about theories of what television is today. Lynn, you should have seen his face change. You could look at body language. When I looked at the tape afterward and I was with the photographer, I said, look at his body language. He leans forward. He puts his... Yeah,
he was into it.
He was so into it. And I was such an idiot trying to get him to see... So, you know what? I learned my lesson. Don't, you know, when you're speaking,
let it happen. Person, don't try to make it happen, right? Don't try to make something.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Most unexpected celebrity that you were like really anxious to meet or see or be with that you either couldn't stand upon meeting, or one that or the opposite, or switch it around. Somebody you thought you'd hate who you ended up really liking, you know, a major figure. Do you have any of those?
There wasn't a major figure that I thought I'd hate. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh, this was awful. Oh yes. Oh, she's really not a nice person. Oh, I'm just thinking of it. Oh, and I got in so much trouble. The news director.
Who are we talking about here?
The owner of the Cincinnati Reds, Marge Schott.
Oh, she was a horrible person.
She was, and I knew that she was a bigot. She was a racist, and she said horrible things. And she would let her great big Saint Bernard go on the field and poop. And I got an interview with her, and it was the 1990 division playoff with the Cincinnati Reds. It was Game 6, and it turned out we ended up losing it. We lost to the Reds. They went to the that was division, so they went to the whatever. I guess they went to the World Series, right? If you lose the division playoffs, you go to the World Series.
I don't know where else you're going, right?
Yeah, exactly. God, I mean, anyway, God, my ex-husband used to play Major League Baseball. I should be shot. But anyway, and so my mother had just died the week before, and I was working again a week later, and they sent me, and I started asking her all these questions and about her life and everything. And I did this piece that was so positive about her, and she was a horrible person.
Oh, God.
And our news director called me up and tore me apart when the piece aired. They saw the piece. And I started sobbing into the phone, and I said, "What the hell do you think is going to happen? My mother just died." And I hung up the phone. Yeah, that was a bad day. It was a bad day. And I didn't hang up on him. I just started crying.
There's no crying.
And everybody thinks never crying. Everybody thinks it's just so wonderful and we all get along. And oh my gosh, the egos that are in a newsroom, and it doesn't matter whether it's network or whether it's, whatever. All you need to do, I've never watched, what is it called? The morning show? I've never watched it because I have no desire. Someone said, "Why don't you watch it?" I said, "Because I have no desire to see play out what could have been." And also, people ask.
I don't even know what the morning show is. What is?
It was on. I think it's on HBO. It's a series. I don't know if it's still on. I think it is. Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah. No, we lived it.
I don't ever watch it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, one thing did happen, and people are surprised I say this. They say, I had a chance to go to New York to WCBS, and and at the very same day that I interviewed there, they offered me the job for the 6 o'clock news. They took off a woman who had been there for 6 months. It wasn't working, and some of the upper level management in New York said this isn't working, and they had passed me over, and they said we made a mistake, and they came back to me. That's what happened. It was 1986. And I remember my agent said, "You'll make more money if you stay here in New York." And then I said, "No, I want to go back and prove that they made a mistake the first time." That's what I said to her. And I came back here, and you look back at it and you think, maybe I made a mistake.
Oh, wait, I misunderstood because I thought you were saying, okay, so you're offered the job. So the person that wasn't working out as anchor was here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember her. What a nightmare. Yeah. Okay, see if anybody knows the name. Sally was in line to clearly be the anchor, and they brought in this awful woman from Minneapolis, is what I remember.
Yeah,
and
she wasn't
everybody.
Awful.
She was the most unlikable human being I've ever encountered. Everybody hated.
Was she really?
Everybody hated her. I mean,
Don couldn't stand her. In fact, it was Don who went to the news director and said she has to go.
It's just awful. She's just. Her name was Colleen Needles.
Oh, I can't believe you're saying these people's names. Why are you doing that?
What? She going to sue me?
Well, you shouldn't say that. It's not nice.
Oh, come on. She wasn't nice.
Like I'm nice?
Yeah, but listen. Nah, she wasn't nice. Oh,
okay. Well, she was a little cold. Why are you laughing?
No, she kept saying, she looked down her nose at us. She kept saying, well, that's not how we did it in Minneapolis. What do you mean I have to do this or that? She would not in any way try to conform to the new place she was at.
Well, Minneapolis is a really good market, but
I know it is. I wonder what happened to her. Somebody look her up.
Someone told me that she did a story. She did a story down in, Minneapolis spent a lot of money on sending their people, overseas and doing really, hard edge national type journalism. It was known for that station where she was. And I had heard that she got some bugs that got in her ear in the Amazon or something, and something awful happened. Well, she recovered, but it was terrible. But
I'm sorry.
Never mind. I can't remember. I'm not telling it quite right, but something awful happened to her. But she recovered, I think. Yeah, I think she did.
Oh, look, I found her on Google.
Oh, you did?
No, that doesn't look like her. Well, maybe
Is she retired?
It says here that she's a TV producer. Award-winning television producer and news anchor. She got married. Colleen Needles Stewart.
She would be, yeah, well, she would be. When I got married, I didn't take his name. His name was Famous, Famous. Can you imagine?
It's a big mistake. Big mistake. She didn't take the name Famous. Sally Famous. Unbelievable. Yeah, there's Colleen. Oh my God. So yeah, maybe she'll sue me.
Well, don't be unkind. She just was kind of in the wrong market.
Listen to that. 2015, how Colleen Needles built a TV powerhouse. So I guess she's okay. And I think maybe more off air. Who the hell knows? It was not a good fit here in Pittsburgh. Gigi, no. Chris writes, love hearing you and Sally tell stories. This is the best entertainment for a snowy day. As a caller to Stan and Guy used to say, love the show.
That's somebody I talk about. Two guys that I love, Stan and Guy.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. Good guys. Good guy.
Great, incredible sports knowledge. Incredible. Really.
Speaking of sports and guys, I was telling somebody the other day how when I came here, Sally got here about 10 months before me. And then I came and Dan Marino was it was in his senior year, was a quarterback at Pitt. And he was given a internship
in radio
with the news department. No, I think it was radio because I know he was hanging out there in that radio corner. But my memory is, first of all, he just sits there. He would sit there, and everybody would come up and all gaga. And this is before he became a pro. It was a year before. And the year I was once going down to the city county building to do a story, and they said, whoever sent me said, hey, take Dan with you so Dan can see how we do stories or something. I don't know. Well, we drove down, parked the car, and Dan got out and walked away. What? He walked away. I remember thinking, oh, yeah, okay. I'm willing to bet he was getting paid for that, which would have been illegal, that internship. I'm willing to bet.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever. The next year he gets drafted by the Dolphins, right? And ends up in the Super Bowl as a rookie. Right?
Yes, against Joe Montana, another Pittsburgher, and I hated you because you got to go there and cover it with my boyfriend.
Kylie. Yeah. Don't worry, Sally. We didn't have a good time, okay? We didn't have a good time. Why did they send me for that was in San Francisco? Oh, it was awful.
Because you were doing features.
Yeah, I was. Too bad for you.
What year was that? 80? Was that 84, 86?
No, it'd be 81 or 2. Somebody look up.
No.
He was a rookie. It would have had to have been 81 or 2. I'm telling you, he was a rookie. You're thinking of another.
Look it up. No. Because I didn't start dating Kylie.
Okay, then you're remembering a different Super Bowl.
You know what? Because I didn't start dating Kylie until 1983, the beginning of 84. No. It was May of 84 I started dating Kylie because I had just gotten divorced in January of 84. And so it had to have been It had to have been. I know this is ridiculous. But see, this is how I try to keep my brain active, is to try to remember something like this.
Well,
which is inconsequential.
Dan Marino threw 20 touchdowns and recorded a 96 passer thing.
But they lost.
Yeah, and they lost, right?
They lost to San Francisco. They lost.
But I swear to God, when did he go pro? He went pro in 1983.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was 83. I was thinking more it was 81 or 2.
So he was
what do
really
I know?
Young. He was really young when he played in that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Ruth says, I love hearing Bill Hillgrove call football games. I was sad when he retired. He retired? He's still calling games. Oh, he retired from TAE, I guess. How old is Hillgrove now? 110?
He's still calling.
I cannot believe he's still doing it. I cannot believe it.
I once had a friend of mine who became a really well-known sportscaster nationally, but I worked with him in Birmingham. His name was Tony Bruno. Look him up. A volatile personality, absolutely brilliant, but would get himself in trouble. Not where he worked with us, but other places. I followed his trajectory. He's been done all kinds of things, and nationally anyway. And oh God, why did I just bring Tony up? I can't remember.
God, I don't know. But here, we're almost out of time. And I want to...
I know why. Wait. Quick.
All right, wait.
He said on the air once, they used a clip of Billy. He called Billy the best play-by-play guy in the country.
Oh, I don't
know. The way he called names and his voice. No, he said it, and he did say it. He said it on one of his shows nationally.
Okay.
And I remember hearing it. So that's why I said it. See, I did remember it really quickly. I did. Oh, it's time to go. It's 10:58.
Yeah, I know it's almost time to go. But what we want to get to real fast is Sally's a world traveler, and she has been all over the place. Last year you were in Borneo, right?
In August, yeah. August and September. I got sciatica there.
She got sciatica in Borneo, and she got chased by a hippo in God knows where. She's got...
That was it. We were rammed by a hippo. That was on the Okavango Delta.
There you go.
In Botswana. In Africa.
Yeah. I learned long ago not to travel with Sally. We don't work well together on trips. But you're heading off again to India, right?
For the third time.
I think you're out of your mind. By the way, I just thought India...
you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of regretting saying yes to this one. It's being led by somebody that I really respect. She's never been there. She's nationally famous as a naturalist and used to host a show with Jack Hanna. And she asked if I would go. There's only a group of 9, and I'm taking a very dear friend with me because I thought it would be fun for her. She used to live in Thailand, but she's never been to India. She used to live in China. She's married to one of my dearest friends. So I offered to go. And now I'm kind of regretting it because, I've been there twice. I know India. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
It's a pretty big country. Are you going back to the same places?
Well, we're going to all the same places I've been.
What? Oh, that's a mistake. There you go.
Well, but that's because they're very famous, they're very famous wildlife parks. But then I thought about it. People go to, I've been to Africa 7 times. So in different countries. But so people go to India many, many times. So I thought, just shut up and go and enjoy it. Stop being a jerk.
Okay, there you go. Enjoy it. As long as you're going, enjoy it. I just saw that India is, in the next few years, going to probably surpass China as the most populous nation on Earth.
Which is awful, which is terrible.
Of course it is. Why don't you hand out some birth control while you're there?
Well,
Bring a bunch of condoms.
I could say why. I could say why it's happening. You know why it's happening. Well, guess. Guess.
People are screwing. That's why it's happening.
Yes, but who wants lots of children?
Poor people. Oh.
No, I'm not going to. Never mind. Makes me upset. Well, you know what? In 150 years, it's all going to be gone. We're going to be gone. We are not going to exist as a species in 120 years. That's what my ecologist friend said. I said, how long do we have as a species? And she said 150 years. Then the planet will reboot. There just won't be humans on it. So it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters, Sally. We'll end this with nothing matters. Oh, God. Well, this was fun. We got to do this again.
Was it? It was entertaining. No, I have a feeling it was entertaining. But I'm feeling a little bit, egocentric because we're talking about ourselves or other people. And I feel a little uncomfortable. It feels like you're dirty. I feel dirty.
Well, go take a shower or a bath and know that I'm willing to bet that most people listening to this enjoyed it. Okay.
Well, I enjoy listening to you. You're very entertaining. I'm always amazed at the size of your brain. You are one of those brilliant people.
All right, stop. Yeah, right.
Why?
Yeah. Well, you were the Phi Beta Kappa, not me. So,
that's because you know why that is.
Well, I know what my brother said. Phi Beta Kappa at University of Alabama.
You couldn't even think. Yes, he would say that, wouldn't he? What an asshole. What an asshole.
He is, but he has a warm spot in his heart for you.
Well, I'm going to say something. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to say something. This is really conceited. When we did tests when we were in the first grade. Remember taking those tests?
Vaguely.
Remember to see how smart you were when you were in the. I don't remember. I don't remember taking it. All I do is remember that later on, my mother, I was upset about something. I scored the highest. Now, we had just moved to Alabama the year before. I scored the highest that had ever been scored in the whole state of Alabama.
Yeah, because all those other kids were going to school in Alabama.
But it was first grade. We were hardly educated. But anyway, so I say that sometimes to people, and their response is, "Well, yeah, but it was Alabama, right?"
And you know what? Now the whole country's stupid. So there you go.
It is.
Yeah, but no, Sally has a prodigious brain. All right.
Not like
Sal,
yours.
thank you. This was, shut up. This was
neither
lovely.
one of us can do math. Neither one of us can do math.
Well, that's true. We have a certain kind of brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we need to end this after 11 o'clock.
I'm trying to end it. I am. I'm trying. I remember my acting teacher saying, you couldn't make an exit if your life depended on it. And I do. I have trouble ending. But we're ending. That's it. Done. Sally,
that's what I can say about the men in my life. I have trouble letting them go.
Well.
So let's end with
if
that.
If there's any guys out there, Sally's always on.
No. I'm done. I'm done.
She's done.
Bad news. I'm done. No. At 70, you're done. Trust me.
No, you're not. Not some people, but I was done at.
Oh, I know.
I don't know, 50 for sure. Anyway, it's pathetic. I think we can do a whole show on smart women on television not finding guys.
I found plenty. I'm not talking about,
I know there you can find them. It's, having a relationship.
I had
with
some
black
great. I had some great guys, and I made some bad mistakes. I did.
is all
I
her
did.
fault.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know one who was. Yeah. I'm going to start to cry, so let's not talk about it anymore.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. So thank you, Sally. I'm glad you came on and I made you cry and feel dirty. That's great. Damn it. Okay.
This was fun.
Okay. Bye, you. Bye.
All right.
Bye, Sally.
Do I just hang up? Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
you just hang up. That's what I'm going to do. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Sally Wiggan, ladies and gentlemen. What a piece of work. Wow. Yeah, we'll have her on more often. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow. Geez, you wouldn't have. I'm looking out my window, and to have listened to the weather the last 2 days, that's another reason not to watch television news. You would have thought, Armageddon was upon us. Anyway, goodbye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.